And we're live, recorded.
Republic Today, republictoday.net. Today is Monday, July 24th. It's 12:10 at night. We're in the American state of Washington in the Pacific Northwest. So that's going to be Pacific time, 12:10 a.m. for you audio listeners. On this show, we talk about our personal lives. We talk about our jobs. We talk about games and stuff we play. Um, we talk about basketball news. I guess the Joker isn't playing for Serbia in the World Cup.
Why not?
I think just preserve his body,
Right,
you
save
know.
it for the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, so he won
Okay.
the year before last. So what would that been? Um, the 20
21?
2020-2021 season.
So, COVID season.
Is that right? And then there's 21-22, and then this year is 22-23. So he won the 2021 and the 21-22 most valuable player, which is like for regular season, the and this is in all the sports they have this, the best player, most valuable is debated, right? So
Right.
he won that back to back, and then he didn't win it in the 22-23 season, but he won the finals MVP, which is a bigger deal, and like won the championship and was the best player on the best team. Um, and like had a historic performance compared to other players who have gone through the playoffs and gone to that last round. Um, it was like an all-time great run
Mm-hmm.
for as far as individual stuff goes, and so, um, but he's not playing. I guess Canada's going to be really good. So the second best player on the Denver Nuggets, the current champions, his name is Jamal Murray,
Mm-hmm.
and he's from Canada, and he supposedly is going to play in this World Cup
Oh, for Canada?
for Canada,
Okay.
and so he's really good. Like he's really good. He's a championship, you know,
And he's
player.
young.
Yeah, yeah, he's in his
Like
20s.
younger than the Jokic.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both in their 20s. Jokic, I don't think is even 30 yet. He's like 28 years old.
Okay. Well, I just feel like you kind of take advantage of like your resilience as a young person, so you're able to participate more or participate in more until you kind of start reaching a certain age.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um
Right. The American team that's going does not have LeBron James. I mean,
right,
he's whatever, 38, 39 now.
because he's still playing.
Yeah, he's also, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
he's now.
he's probably just like, this is my main career, I'm not gonna like fuck around with international
Yeah,
competitions for
right.
what.
National pride.
Yeah,
When
right.
like he lived through, whatever, 2017 through 2019 or whatever it was, 2020. Um, I guess the 2020 election was the last year of President Trump. But like when we had the openly racist president, um, and all the racist people came out of the woodwork and have continued to like organize and be like neo-fascists. Um, he's a black man that's lived through that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a black person. I don't know his gender, but like,
Right. I mean, he does play for men's basketball,
but he did. I mean, he
so.
won gold medals for USA basketball. But that
Right.
I don't. We should look up when's the last time LeBron played. But like Kevin Durant has played probably more recently, and he's like in his 30s and is not going to be playing for this FIBA World Cup thing.
Right.
Um, there's there's lots of guys. It's kind of a B squad. I think the best player on the team is a young man named Anthony Edwards, and he's got the Ant Man nickname right now, MCU, whatever.
Mm.
Because like Anthony Davis, who's a championship level player, played for New Orleans a lot. He's LeBron's teammate. Um, like people call him Ant. Like this is before Ant Man movie came out. Like he's not Tony. They don't call him Tony. They call him Ant, like Ant short for Anthony.
Oh, because otherwise he would be Tony Stark.
Well, he would be Tony Davis.
Hey,
Would
Tony.
you know? But he didn't want to go by Tony. He, like on the marquee it says Anthony Davis.
Right.
But just day to day people would call him Ant. So anyway, this Anthony Edwards, um, he plays for Minnesota. I mean, he's definitely not like a top tier, but he's quite young. I don't. He's probably like 20 years old or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. But I think the USA is probably still the favorite to win the World Cup. But yeah, and without Jokic, Serbia is not anymore. So I don't know. Canada. It wouldn't be shocking if Canada won it. I think
Well,
France is bringing a
okay.
strong team.
Can one player like really make or break a team like that?
Yeah, like but there's only 5 people on the court at the same time per team, so 10 total.
I
So
understand. So you're saying yes?
yeah, that impact can be huge.
Mm.
One player in basketball can improvise, and if they can dribble and create shots for themselves, it's like a one-person offense.
Mm.
You know,
Interesting.
when you're so tall, because rebounding and height is so important in basketball, it's way harder to dribble when you're super tall, and when your hands are big, it's harder to control the ball.
Uh-huh.
Like for dribbling, smaller hands, being closer to the ground, that's better. That's easy. It makes it easier. So that's why like there are still 6 foot, whatever, 5'10"
Uh-huh.
players around in the NBA, because they can do these other things. Now the eye-hand coordination required for long distance shooting.
Yeah.
If you're 5'10" and you're good at this other stuff, and you can have that eye hand, well, you could, if you have the work ethic to do the athleticism stuff and are lucky enough not to hurt yourself when you're a teenager, you could pursue a career in sports, or even basketball at that height.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the taller guys, it's a lot harder for them to dribble and create shots for themselves.
Okay.
Um, Jokic can a little bit. He can drive pretty good, like which is when you're going towards the basket, dribbling, usually to shoot. But he's just an amazing passer. He's maybe the best passer in basketball. So he's taller than everybody too, for the most part. Maybe the opposing team would have a guy that's like around his size or something, but he's so huge, and his eye hand coordination is so great, and he's practiced basketball so much. He's as good at passing as any other player. LeBron's a great passer, and then there's smaller guys who like specialize in that kind of thing, getting other people open shots. And so the coach will like run a play where it might get a really good shooter open, and it takes a good ball handler, aka dribbler,
Mm-hmm.
and passer to find that, to draw defense away by acting like you're going to shoot, and then find the open player that other players have like set screens and things. And so you find the open player who's good at shooting, they hit shots. There's a statistic called assists in basketball. Um, that's if you pass the ball to someone, and if one player passes the ball to another player, and that second player scores, then that's an assist, and so they keep track of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the really good passers like Irvin Magic Johnson, he was good at passing. Jason Kidd. I'm just talking about like historic passers. There was another big, huge guy back. He was like 80s, 90s. He played like past his prime. He finally made the NBA, like when he was older. But his name was Arvydas Sabonis, and he was a really good passing, huge guy. But Jokic is basically the best. I mean, Bill Walton was also a good passer. Chris Webber, in terms of like bigger dudes. But yeah, Jokic is just he's just on a different level. He's so great at that. He's so great. His touch, that like when he is close to the basket and he kind of tosses
Yeah,
it
I've
up,
seen that. Yeah.
and it just
It's
bounces
very
in.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if like he doesn't even need to be that open because he's so much taller, but he's good at shooting like long range, like 3 pointers too.
Yeah.
Um, like so he's so great at basketball, and it's fun to watch. Um, so it's too bad he's not playing in the international. I don't know how much of that we're gonna watch. I do have it on streaming, ESPN app. It's
Oh,
on.
it's gonna be on there
It's gonna be on ESPN
live,
Plus. Plus, yeah.
and you can access it with your subscription.
Yep, streaming.
Okay.
Yep, it's the bundle that comes Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN. Thank you for the sponsorship. That's why we're able to make our living and save up a lot of money and live a luxurious lifestyle through podcasting. Republic Today, republictoday.net. So what do you got?
Well, it was just a basketball update today.
What we were talking about before we started recording.
Well, I wanted to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We were talking about standardized testing. We were talking about this Swedish chocolate.
Oh, it's good.
Um, it's called Standout Chocolate. Handcrafted in Sweden.
Great value.
Great sponsorship. Thanks, you guys. Would recommend. So this flavor is, I don't know, I'm just going to read from the bar. I don't understand the wording here. Nordic Nature Black Currant. 63%.
63%.
Vegan and organic, naturally flavored chocolate bar. On the back, it's in German, Swedish, and English. In the languages here. And yeah, I don't know. I would recommend it. It is a little bit pricey. It's won some awards. The flavor's great if you're into a dark chocolate like that. It's not super dark. I was just saying that I like how dry it is. Of like, I don't know, it's not a soft chocolate. It's not like a milk chocolate where you can kind of just like...
There's bitterness.
Mush into
Cocoa
yes,
is bitter.
There's bitterness. The black currant really comes through well. For those of you who are environmentally conscious, this
100% of our viewers / listeners, Republic Today, republictoday.net, 100% are environmentally conscious.
So this packaging is paper. It's not saying exactly, but the inside is kind of like a stiff, crinkly plastic type, but it is made out of vegetable starch and is fully biodegradable and compostable.
Heck yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's great. I recommend. If you are a representative of Standout Chocolate, please
Thank you for the sponsorship.
hit us in the DMs and tell us how we did.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So we're just becoming a food and basketball vlog cast for those of you who are watching and listening. Do you have anything else you would like to share?
I mean, I'm interested to see what happens in terms of free agency with Damian Lillard and James Harden. There's not I'm not going to add anything into the conversation besides there's a holding pattern in terms of how I would rank the chances for various teams to win championships for in the upcoming 2023-2024 NBA season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Pelicans didn't really make any big splashes. In terms of other teams, we might. Damian Lillard plays for Portland. That's our local team here in the Pacific Northwest. And we've seen him live at the Moda Center against the New Orleans Pelicans one time. And we'll see when the schedule comes up. Oh, we're going to go see baseball. Live entertainment. There's lots of calendaring to do.
Bark in the park.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to see dogs.
We're gonna see dogs.
And hopefully Shohei Ohtani.
It's like, isn't that, so it's, Mariners versus Angels. And I feel like there's some sort of relation to all dogs go to heaven with that association. And
Right,
we're going
because
to
of
bark
first
in the
first
park.
responder dogs. You know?
No!
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So we want to extra special thanks to our
It's a
sponsor,
cartoon.
Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol, you've made me
No.
rich. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so happy to be
Alright.
rich. Thank you, Paw Patrol, for protecting my property.
Um,
Don't vote. Don't vote.
I'm Jay. This is Skull. Thank
Republic
you
Today.
for listening. Oh, and this is Mr. Cheese for those of you who can see.
Little Miss.
Little Miss. She just licked her lips. She's a good girl. Okay. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.